on my channel. I'm just a girl who likes reading romance, fantasy romance, paranormal romance, any kind of genre of romance in general. And I also happen to have cerebral palsy, and it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to my channel. Happy Friday! Today's video is going to be, I read 4 books by a new to me author, and I'm just going to tell you about them. The author that I read 4 books from is a new to me author, and that is Adriana Locke. I read Like You Love Me and The Carmichael Family. The Carmichael Family has 3 books in it so far. Flirt, Fling, and Fluke. Now I'm just gonna say, if you love friends to lovers romance, I highly suggest checking out Adriana Locke, because most of the Carmichael Family books are friends to lovers, and Like You Love Me is also a friends to lovers. I picked up Adriana's books because of Morgan from Nothing Better Than a Book and Ava from Ava's Romance Books. Morgan talked about Fling and Flirt, and Ava talked about Like You Love Me, and so I wanted to read those books because she's been on my list for a while now, and all these books happen to be friends to lovers. Like You Love Me is about Sophie and Holden. They were childhood best friends, and they reconnect again when Holden moves back to their hometown, and Holden and Sophie enters a marriage of convenience because Holden is the new vet in town, and the previous vet in town wants to pass down the business to someone that's family oriented. So Holden lies to his boss and tells him he's married. And Sophie needs help with her taxes and to keep her family business, like she runs her family's inn, so she needs help just to keep that business afloat. And so Holden's back in town. They get to know each other again. And one day randomly, Holden proposes that they get married so they can help each other out. And it's a marriage of convenience romance between childhood friends to lovers, and it's very sweet because Holden definitely falls for Sophie first. Sophie is hesitant because she was married before and her ex-husband was not a good person. Like, he married her and he swindled Sophie out of her money. So that's why she's hesitant to accept the deal with Holden, but eventually she gives in, and eventually she starts falling for him too. It's very sweet. I liked it. It was very cute. Like You Love Me. I gave it 4 stars. Then I read the first 3 books in the Carmichael family. And there's only 3 books in it so far. The 4th book is coming out this summer. And the first book is called Flirt. It's about Brooke and Moss. The guy's name is Moss. And Brooke needs a date to her grandmother's 83rd birthday. And because she doesn't want to go alone, because her ex-husband is going to be there. She divorced her ex-husband, but then her ex-husband is starting to go out with her aunt, and Brooke's family just treats her horribly. So she makes a post on Instagram like, a date needed to my grandmother's party, pretend to be my boyfriend. But she thought of it as a joke, like she wasn't gonna post it. But her best friend posted it for her, and all of a sudden there are applicants trying to be her fake boyfriend. But the person she actually picked his name is Moss. He works with her at the designing agency. They both work as design. Well, he's a carpenter, she's a designer, and Brooke works for Moss's family. And Moss's family makes Moss apply to be Brooke's fake boyfriend because they know that Moss has always had feelings for Brooke, so they make it happen, and Brooke and Moss begin fake dating just so she wouldn't have to go alone to her grandmother's party, because as I said, they treat her horribly, and eventually they develop real feelings for each other. But something happens in Moss's past that is preventing him to say I love you to Brooke, even though he does. He just can't say I love you to Brooke because of what happened in his past. There will be a spoiler if I tell you what's preventing him to say that he loves her. So I'm just going to tell you to read the book. But yeah, their feelings turn real, and they eventually go out. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. Oh, and there is no 3rd act breakup in any of the Carmichael family books. Of all the 3 books I read, there is no 3rd act breakup. The next book in the series is called Fling. And this is about Ashley and Holden. Ashley broke up broke up her engagement to her fiance, and she decides to go on her honeymoon, and she wants her friends to go on the honeymoon she paid for, and I think Bora Bora, but her friends can't go. So they make a flyer for her, like, go on this honeymoon date with me, no strings attached, and because she doesn't want to go alone, she tells them they will pick out the winner of this contest, because they put it like a contest flyer, and the person who wins the date is actually Maddox. Maddox and Ashley have been childhood friends, but they were too afraid to take the next step. So when she's surprised when she gets in the plane and she sees Maddox, they decide to go on this trip together. It's supposed to be a fling, no strings attached, but eventually it's more than physical, because eventually they realize what they feel for each other is more than friendship. And I like this book. I gave it 4 stars. I just didn't like it as much as I did the first book, Fluke, by Fluke. And then in this story we have Jess Carmichael and Peppa, and they are also childhood friends, and they work in the same company, a matchmaking company. Well, Peppa works at a matchmaking company, and I think Jess is her coworker. And Peppa accidentally tells one of her coworkers that she has an ex-husband who's obsessed with her, and her bosses hear about this, and they think she's married. They think she has an ex-husband, and they want to meet her. So ad on Instagram saying she's looking for somebody to pretend to be her fake husband. But Jess has been pining for her for a long time, so he asked her, well, why don't I just play your fake husband instead of you asking some random person? It's only for 2 weeks anyway. And they enter this fake relationship where Jess is supposed to be her ex-husband, eventually feelings start to develop, romantic feelings start to develop, and their relationship grows. But one of the problems is that Peppa does not want kids, and she thinks that Jess does, and so that's the problem in their relationship. But I tell you again, there's no third act breakup. I love this one so far. This, Fluke, and Flirt. Fluke and Flirt are my favorite in the series so far. Those are all the books that I read by Adriana Locke. Please let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of her books. I would love to know. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. That would mean the world to me. Bye. I'll see you Monday.